Everybody knows Dubai for its iconic freehold islands, Palm Jumeirah, Bluewaters Island and Jumeirah Bay. Abu Dhabi's answer to this is Hudayriat Island. Whenever you take a look at the city of Abu Dhabi, you have to always remind yourself that this emirate has only had the freehold law open since 2019. When you take a look at Dubai, that opened up in 2002. This means that Dubai has had much more years and experience of building out iconic projects, and with that as well, the prices have really driven up for what is on offer now in Dubai. When you take a look at Abu Dhabi, it's had a much smaller time period for any new projects to come up, and anything new now and coming up freehold is going to be in the best locations with the earliest set of pricing available. So when you take a look at the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, it's really important to note that the main city of Abu Dhabi is actually not available for freehold purchase. This makes the land or the islands, which are as close as possible to the main city of Abu Dhabi, extremely valuable, because this is the next best option for someone to buy a property to live in if they want to be working in the main city of Abu Dhabi. And this is what makes Hudayriat Island so interesting. On top of that as well, it's really interesting to note that the supply coming up in Abu Dhabi, and I mentioned this in my last video, is extremely limited when you compare it to the likes of Dubai. If we take a look at Dubai, in around about 5 years, there'll be another 300,000 units coming up in Dubai. Whereas if you take a look at Abu Dhabi, in the same time period, there's about 33,000 units coming up, and 8,000 of those units are actually being built in Yas Island. If I then tell you as well, in Abu Dhabi, there is significant population growth. We are currently at 4 million people, which is a 50% increase since 2014. There are some really strong reasons for freehold real estate to grow in Abu Dhabi even further. Just to add briefly, ADGM is a very important part of Abu Dhabi's market. This operates under English common law, very similar to what DIFC has, and is actually classed as really the financial and economic centre of the United Arab Emirates, with all of the sovereign wealth based out of these areas. There are currently 11,000 active licenses, and this is increasing at a rate which we've never seen before. The whole island of Hudayriat is actually master developed by Modon. Now, many of you probably haven't heard of Modon as much as you maybe would have heard of Aldar, but Modon's presence is extremely significant. They actually own 55% of the land in Abu Dhabi, and they are also owned by ADGM, who are the sovereign wealth fund of Abu Dhabi. Modon also have a massive international presence, with them building the Excel London, which is the main exhibition centre of the United Kingdom, and they have projects throughout the rest of the world in areas and places such as Egypt, Spain and Morocco. Now let's take a look at Hudayriat Island itself. Now, to put things into perspective, this island is the same size as Manhattan, if not slightly bigger. This island is broken up into 3 areas where you have Hudayriat West, Hudayriat Central and Hudayriat East. Hudayriat West is known as the commercial district of the island. I think it's also worth noting the whole of Hudayriat Island is going to be the sports island of Abu Dhabi, and all of that is going to be concentrated in the commercial district. Here, you currently have things and activities such as 321 Sports, Surf Abu Dhabi, and already an open and public beach which people are currently using in Abu Dhabi. You have a lot more also coming, for example, a velodrome. There is a cycling track which is already there and also going to be expanded out through Hudayriat West. And on top of that, hotels such as a sports hotel yet to be open within this part of the island. A lot more is also to come which is yet to be confirmed, for example, a golf course. Hudayriat Central is the main part of the island where people are focusing on right now, because this is where people can invest in real estate today. This is known to be the main residential part of Hudayriat Island, and it has some of the most unique projects that the whole of the UAE, and if not the Middle East, has ever seen before. Finally, we come to Hudayriat East, where it's under confirmation. We don't know what is really coming here, but we know it will mainly be residential. What we know so far is that they have launched something called Wadim, which are essentially freehold plots for people to build their own custom villas on, and that is all sold out. Now let's come to the main part of the video, which is Hudayriat Central, where you have a couple of mega projects that you can invest in today and make some really good returns on. Now Hudayriat Central offers a level of exclusivity that we have never seen in the United Arab Emirates and the Middle East, let alone Abu Dhabi. Now in Hudayriat Central, there are a few districts to make note of. You have Nawayef, which are the two hills, which we'll come on to very shortly. You have Naseem, which is a low-rise villa community, which is also something we'll come on to. And finally, you have Bashaya, where there are villas, which are all sold out, and you have Nawayef Village, which are townhouses, which again are all sold out. Now in Hudayriat Central, I also want to make point that there is a private beach which is only accessible for the residents of Hudayriat Central, as well as various retail and amenities, clubhouses, and 2 international schools which will also be opening up on the island. Now let's take a look at Nawayef, which is some of the most interesting projects I've ever seen in the Middle East as a whole. Now, generally, when you take a look at a beachfront community or something near the water, it's only the first layer of those villas which have the opportunity to see the ocean and see the view that people really want. The second row is going to be obstructed. The difference here with Nawayef and the hills here is that each of these hills is built with a 60-meter elevation. You have 55 meters on the west hill and 60 meters on the east hill. Now, if you take a look at the villas and how they're laid out on these hills, each of the layers has an elevation of 10 meters at least to the layer below, therefore guaranteeing a view of either the 1-kilometer canal to the city skyline of Abu Dhabi, the beach, or Hudayriat Island as a whole. This has never been done before. The hills are already built, and you'll see some footage now of us driving up the hill to show you what it feels like. The elevation is something that you've never seen before and offers a level of privacy also that the Middle East has never seen before too. On top of that as well, each of the villas are built with a very different aesthetic to the next. This is not a copy and paste project, which we mainly really see in Dubai with a lot of the mega projects over there. With Nawayef, each of the villas has a different and unique aesthetic, which really adds a feel that you're in Beverly Hills, but just in Abu Dhabi. Now, along with the types being different, Nawayef also offers 3 types of product that you can buy currently. You have Nawayef Homes, Nawayef Heights, and Nawayef Mansions. Nawayef homes are starting from around about 10 million dirhams with a BUA of around about 4,700 square foot. These could be 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, for example. If we then take a look at Nawayef Heights, these are starting from around about 23 million dirhams, and the BUA is starting from around about 12,500 square foot. Again, you have 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms, and 7 bedrooms here. Then we come to the Nawayef Mansions, and these are starting from 40 million dirhams and are also sized incredibly well at 28,000 square foot BUA plus. These mansions aren't even available openly. You have to put in an application to even be within a chance of buying these types of properties. Now, with this information on hand of the types and the different types of products, we can start to understand how these hills are laid out. So when we take a look at the hills, you'll see on the first row, this is a 5-meter elevation from the ground. Then we come to the second row, where then there is another 10-meter elevation on this, and this is therefore a 15-meter elevation from the ground. Again, this is where the homes are. Above that, if we then add another 10 meters, that results in a 25-meter elevation from the ground, and again, we're still on the homes. Then we come to the heights, where if we then add another 10 meters, we're on a 35-meter elevation with the heights. If we then add another 10 meters, we're on 45 meters, and that's when we come to the mansions. And then finally, on the last row, we add another 15 meters, which means that it's a 16-meter elevation for the top mansions above. Next to this iconic Beverly Hills style property, you have Al Naseem located just to the right. This community, if I were to talk about it from scratch, is also extremely attractive. If I were to tell you you can buy a villa walking distance to a beach in a master planned community with 2 schools inside it, not too far from the city, a lot of people would be paying top dollar for this type of asset. I think when we put it into perspective of what the hills offer, it does seem a little bit underwhelming. However, it's very important to not forget that this is also an amazing type of investment. Here you have extreme value on offer. These products are selling for around about 1,300 to 1,400 dirhams per square foot. If this was ready today in the market, it would be worth 2,500 dirhams per square foot plus. Here you have currently 5 and 6 bedroom villas, which offer some incredible sizes for the value that's on offer. The 4 bedrooms are all sold out currently. Both of these projects offer incredible value for money and could be some really good options for anyone buying a property in Abu Dhabi, and it all depends on your budget and also what type of lifestyle you're looking for. Now, on top of that as well, the payment plan on offer is incredible. With Modon, they're offering on these villas a 40-60 payment plan, 40% during construction, and then 60% on handover. On top of that as well, there isn't a 4% DLD fee in Abu Dhabi, but a 2% ADM fee. So the government costs are actually cheaper here too. So to summarize, the Abu Dhabi market is extremely young. There is not so much supply to combat the increasing population growth that is coming up. Hudayriat Island offers a master plan government-backed community with waterfront property on a beach. And on top of that as well, the value for money on offer with these villas not only topples the prices that are on offer with Dubai, and is also far more lucrative than already the real estate that is currently in Abu Dhabi. For those investors that are open to learning more about a different city other than Dubai, I think it's extremely important not to overlook this opportunity available in Abu Dhabi with these villas. This is not just another project, this is the Palm Jumeirah of Abu Dhabi. Are you already working with an agent that you trust? The reason I ask this is because in the UAE, agents are paid on commission and not on a salary. Every single developer is available through every agent. And if you're already working with an agent that you trust and has given their time to you, I would advise for you to carry on working with them as their time is extremely valuable. However, if you've not found an agent that is able to show you the whole market and give you unbiased advice, please feel free to reach out to me below. I'll be more than happy to help you with the entire UAE market. If you like this video, please like the video, subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. And if you have any thoughts or comments, please comment them below in the video. I do try my level best to reply to as many as possible as I can.